Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this. What day is it? Thursday. On this Thursday. Man, where does the time go? Summer is here. And, we don't need to tell you how hot it is out there because it is definitely hot. Speaking of hot, the president taking shots at bricks. We're going to cover that. We'll go over. We had jobless claims today. More tariff news. Wow. I mean, this is just it. This is the new world as we know it. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. That is the number to call for gold and silver, for Texit. You guys know. It's like you don't know. You know. Well, you better get it. I mean, I don't know. Is it going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? I don't know. The problem is it's very, very hard to see a scenario where gold and silver would be a bad idea. Right? I mean, that's the problem. Because you look at, I don't know, you look at Wall Street right now, and I actually think, now I could be dead wrong on this. I think Wall Street's got one more rally in it. I do. Because hundreds of billions of dollars are coming. They're coming, right? More stimulus is coming. I don't know. I don't know what interest rates are going to do. The Fed minutes came out yesterday, and, it was kind of, I think everybody, when I'm reading into it, though, everybody wants to lower the rates, but there's dangers in doing that, especially now, not with just the stimulus, but, man, these new tariffs, holy smokes. Like I said, let's see, more money printing, good for gold. Lowering rates, really good. Lowering more money printing and lowering rates, really good for gold. Problems in the bond market, good for gold. When we look at Wall Street, right, they're at 30 times earnings. It's crazy. But I think it can get crazier. The Mag 7 is probably now the Mag 5, right? Because Tesla, they look like they're all done. Get a fork out, right? And I'm not saying they're going out of business. Don't get me wrong. Apple, right? They're kind of screwed because everybody's caught up, right? You go overseas, right? The Chinese make a phone just as good as they do. Heck, some people say their phones are better. Right? All the American car companies will tell you Chinese electric cars are better than ours. I don't know. I don't live there. But that's what the sales say. They haven't, Apple always used to be at the cutting edge of the technology. It doesn't feel like they are anymore, does it? Kind of feels like they're just there with everybody else. And the problem now is Trump wants them to build stuff in America, and they can't. Well, I guess I shouldn't say they can't. They could. If you want to pay $3,000 for a cell phone, I mean, I don't know. So throw those two guys out, I think. Of course, notice I said I think. I'm not a stock guy. I don't know. But the rest of them, they're not going anywhere. I mean, Amazon had a terrible day at the start. They had, what is it called? I don't know, Amazon Days, Amazon Prime Days. It's still going on. Down 41%. from the start of Prime Day last year, which I'm like, what? So I thought it was my wife. I did. I blamed her. I'm like, honey, what? You're not on the phone doing all the ordering stuff? And she goes, oh, no. She goes, here's what's different. Everybody's doing it now. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, this is what I use for this, and this is what we use for that. And it's not just Amazon putting their stuff on sale, right? So it's all these other, they're all, piggybacking. So, I don't know. Amazon didn't do so well yesterday. But I think a lot of people, a lot of other companies just riding their coattails. I think there was plenty of ordering going on. Just wasn't all from Amazon. But I'm getting sidetracked. The issues of why I think you can't go wrong with gold and silver. Demand won't stop. Hasn't stopped. Matter of fact, there's really only one place where there's not a lot of demand. That's here. Really? I mean, the Australian Mint said, God, demand's been great. It's been good in Europe. It's been outstanding in Asia. The central banks keep buying it. Supply, prices are through the roof. You would think, honestly, think about this. Gold's up like $1,000 in a year. It's up, almost, I don't know, $1,400 in 18 months. If the miners could actually get more gold out of the ground, they would. They just can't. Yeah. We'll be back. Patriot Radio News Hour. Stay with us. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason. Oh, man. What a crazy, crazy time. Jason had a big, big meeting in Colorado for KXXT yesterday. Huge turnout. Dude, just tell me that thing went on for almost 4 hours. So we've got our meeting scheduled for this coming Wednesday, the 16th at 6 o'clock. People continue to RSVP. The place we are going to have, the place that I thought, of course, and this is the second place, just informed us, no, don't have enough room. We can put you outside on the patio. Yeah, no, that won't work. So we'll figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'll figure it out. I may have to do it at my house. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. We'll do what we need to do. Keep RSVPing. Bring everything. Bring your coins. Bring your phones. Right? From everything from, I don't know how to get on my dashboard to how the heck do I turn this into money, right? We're going to try to do our best. Here's the thing. I'll say this, too. I know Jason already does it in Colorado. Colorado's had like 4 or 5 meetings. By far, the turnout for this meeting was way bigger than any of the previous meetings because, oh, wait, you're going to show me how to buy it and sell it? Yeah, no, I'm coming. So we will have more. So if we get caught in the weeds, and I'm kind of expecting us to be in the weeds, there's only so many of us. Like, I'm going to be there. My wife's going to be there. Joey's going to be there. Arlene's going to be there. So we have people that kind of know what they're doing. Mike Morris, who's the guy we really want there, he may have a scheduling conflict. It's okay. We're going to do our best. We will schedule. I can already tell you this. Phoenix will have we will have more meetings. But having said that, get to this one. Get to this one. I know you're like, well, Joe, where is it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's going to be next week, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be Wednesday. That's all I know. So everybody be ready. People are signing up people already today. It's already started. Get in. It's $9.95 a seat. Buy 5 seats, get 1 free. Buy 9 seats, which is the most you can buy. Get 2 seats for free. They're already minting Bitcoin millionaires. You know, it's funny because I know like Phoenix, I don't know if they switch over. Probably not. But on the early part of the half-empty cup yesterday, we kind of continued the Texit conversation, and already now Texit has created its first millionaire. I told everybody. I signed up to be a millionaire. That's my goal. You know, Jason really laid it out the best. There's 3 things that could happen here. Number 1, it doesn't work. In other words, we built out the mine. We did everything that we thought was going to happen, and they just didn't get enough people to adopt to using it. That's a possibility. We think we think there's obviously we think there's a really good chance that won't happen. The second thing that could happen is it makes it, but it doesn't become the next Bitcoin. In other words, hey, it's out there, people use it, but it's kind of the second tier of crypto coins, right? It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, it's not Doge, it's not Litecoin, but it's there. Yeah. Guess what? I think that makes me a small-time millionaire. I do. That's where I think I'll be if that happens. Obviously, the third case is it does become the next Bitcoin. Yeah, and then, yeah, the day you hear my name again will be never. Because I'll have that kind of money, right? And that's what it's all about. That's why I said, if nothing else, throw $9.95 at it. I mean, by the time this thing gets out there, heck, you may only get 1/10 of a coin a day. But if it's at 100,000, that's 10 grand. Heck, if it's at 10 grand, that's $1,000 a day. At $1,000, that's $100 a day. Yeah, not too bad. For a whopping $995? Yeah, I'd take that. I'd take a shot at that anytime. And this isn't, let's face it, this isn't a meme coin. Right? This isn't a pump and dump. This isn't a Ponzi. This isn't some fake apps and fake stuff. Matter of fact, on Instagram, I think today, Bobby posted one of the B-24s. You can see it in action. Kind of cool. So anyway, enough about that. Let's get to the stuff today. Okay. Let's start with copper. 50% tariff starts August 1st. Copper has gone absolutely crazy. Now, kind of like gold, kind of like silver, they shipped a bunch of copper in. There's going to be, everybody that buys copper is literally going to get every scrap of copper, every ton of copper into the country before August 1st. It's going to, right? Think about all these tariffs, and I think we're going to have months, what we did last month too, higher trade deficits despite the tariffs. I think it's going to happen again. That's how much copper people are going to try to get. Then bricks. It's interesting. I haven't heard a peep out of Mexico. 10% additional tariff on all the BRIC countries. I don't have any more detail than that. It was very broad. Okay, is it just the founding BRIC countries? Is it just the full members of BRICS? Is it the full members? Is it the full members and the what we'll call secondary members? I don't know, but that's what he said. But he saved the biggest bullet for last. A 50% tariff on Brazil. Brazil was the one hosting the BRICS event. Brazil also was the one that released the BRICS statement over Monday. Let's call it Monday morning. That was critical of the United States and particularly Donald Trump's trade policies. And Brazil has responded that they will retaliate essentially in kind. Here's what's funny about Brazil. We actually run a trade surplus with Brazil. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, the whole Brazil thing. Now, the reason, according to Donald Trump, was their former president contested the election that elected this guy, Da Silva, and they ended up prosecuting the former president in Brazil, kind of, I guess, the cover, hey, that happened to me, so a 50% tariff on exports, citing a recently adopted Brazilian law that authorizes the government to take, I guess, political countermeasures. The U.S. will impose the tariff starting August the 1st. Right now, it was at a 10% rate. And then he called it, too. It's interesting because then he tried to cover it with a very unfair trade relationship with Brazil. Like I said, we actually run a little bit of a trade surplus with Brazil. So, Jason, a lot of things, not to mention another group of countries got a letter. So these letters, right, remember, you get a letter, that means August 1st, you're going to pay more tariffs. The following countries got letters yesterday: the Philippines, Brunei, Moldova, Algeria, Iraq, Libya, and Sri Lanka. By the way, they're saying there's still more letters to come. But still nothing on Mexico, nothing on Canada, nothing on Europe as of yet, Jason.
That's a whole lot of economic headwinds. Going back to copper for a moment, I would say I didn't see the price going up yet, but the last time silver jumped this recently from $32 to $36, copper came first. So let's see if copper makes a tremendous move. I have a feeling silver will follow it. That's what started platinum and silver going up, was copper was first. It was kind of lagging a little bit in a lower price, and then it went up. So let's see that first. And then as far as all these countries, the tariffs, this is I said it yesterday, Joe. It just seems like a lot of rebalancing. It just feels like there's a lot of rebalancing going on, and testing the waters and trying to figure out whatever. It sure feels like with the tariffs and the rebalancing financially between these countries, it sure feels like there's some people in the know that something's going to happen, and they're giving everyone a fair shake. Right? Hey, when this economic bomb blows up in the world, we're going to make sure everybody's got kind of an equal footing. We're going to rebalance this. You can't have more. We can't have less. It has that feel, Joe, that they're getting those in the know across the world. Hey, so something's getting ready to happen, and we want to make sure that all of our playing cards have been dealt out correctly, Joe.
Well, I know this. Wall Street is definitely doing Trump will change his mind, right? That he comes out with all of these big things and then he ends up backing down. I don't know. He really took a big shot at BRICS yesterday as well, and I just want to read you what he said. Like I said, an additional 10% on countries that orientate themselves along with the anti-American policies of BRICS. So kind of almost saying, hey, if you're involved with BRICS at all, you're going to get another 10%. He did not elaborate on any specific policy from BRICS. But let's just say when we get back, Donald Trump pulled no punches when it comes to BRICS. We'll be right back. We're back here, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. Let's take a quick look at the markets. I forgot to do that. The Dow is up 250. Most of this Kellogg's, a big merger. So the grocery industry getting even smaller. Boy, this is just, it's crazy. It was the candy maker. I forget which one of the candy makers bought Kellogg's now. Del Monte just filed bankruptcy, right? The S&P is up 10. The Nasdaq's down 22. The 10-year note's at 4.37. We had a 10-year auction yesterday that was, well, it was good on the headlines. They sold it at a much higher rate than the previous month. They had plenty of buyers, but none of them were, well, I guess I shouldn't say none. Foreign participation was extremely light. Dealers ended up with, it was what they call the indirects that bought most of the biggest part of the auction in a long time. So it was good, but not great, right? It would have been, if that had been, and the foreigners were there and the dealers didn't have to buy, then it would have been great. But problem is today, it's the 30-year. They're a little worried. Crude oil down $1. Oil or gold up again. 33.22, up just under $8. Silver. Boy, well, Jason just told you. Silver and copper like to go together. Right now, up 44 cents, 36.75. Right? So we got, looking for $3,400 gold, $37 silver. That's what we're going to keep our eyes out for. But when it comes to these tariffs, is this going to be different? Is there not going to be a taco? I don't know. Any country aligning themselves, right, with the anti-American policies of BRICS will get an additional 10% starting August 1st. There will be no exceptions to this policy. So kind of saying, hey, everybody is going to get it. By anti-American policies, the desire expressed by BRICS members to move beyond a U.S.-led world order in finance and global governments. I don't know. How that alignment will be assessed is anyone's guess. But it is interesting that the president now squaring up against BRICS. And Jason, I think this was probably a lot to do with trying to prevent Mexico from becoming a member. That'd be my guess. I don't know. But anybody aligned with BRICS, an extra 10, and Brazil, you get 50.
Almost. I don't know. There's lots of ideas that go through my head. The BRICS is. They haven't been talking as much about BRICS. Suddenly, it's starting to bubble up again. With all the tariffs going on and all the interest in joining BRICS, just makes me wonder if it's a little bit of a scheme. Hey, we'll tariff all these BRICS countries, and all these countries are joining BRICS. They think they're getting away from the dollar, but if they're getting tariffed like crazy and they're having to pay more, what's the use of joining BRICS, right? So I don't know. I'm thinking, Joe, that I don't think Mexico will join BRICS. My guess is there's maybe some negotiations going on there. How's that? Do you really think Mexico would join?
I'm gonna go. I agree. I think Mexico would love to join BRICS. I don't think they're going to join BRICS. By the way, tomatoes may be next. Apparently, there's all these deals. See, we just don't know, right? Like everything out there. There's this deal, that deal, another deal. Here's what we know about the thing with tomatoes. Apparently, we have had a decades-long deal with Mexico that will expire this weekend, having to do with tomatoes. The U.S. Tomato importer NutraSweet told its customers last week prices will rise 10%, and said in the letter there is no scenario where we can absorb the cost of these tariffs. The margins simply aren't high enough. They are the largest distributor of tomatoes in the U.S., right? So these are Walmart, Kroger's, Albertsons, Safeways, right? They're it, essentially. They're saying that this long run, it ends on July the 14th, will unleash a 17% levy on fruits imported from Mexico. So it's not going to be just tomatoes, but this article having to do with that, the tomato piece of all of this, around 72% of all fresh tomatoes were imported in 2024, with 90% of those coming from Mexico. So, Jason, why do I have a feeling like maybe the tomatoes grown here, they all go to McDonald's or something like that, right? The burgers. Is it possible that pretty much every tomato on the shelves at the grocery store all come from Mexico? So, again, it's going to be difficult. How do you get lower interest rates out of this? I have no idea. It just doesn't seem like it's going to add up.
Mexico seems to have these crops that become really important on a regular till. Over the years, it's been avocados, right, Joe? It's avocados. The drug lords were doing avocados instead of drugs. Now you're talking tomatoes. And I thought California was like a breadbasket and we could grow everything we needed. Why is there a tomato problem?
Well, apparently we agreed to this deal 30 years ago. At that time, U.S. supplied 80% of the U.S. market. So I guess this deal really hasn't worked, right? Now they don't even have 30% of the U.S. market. We'll be back. Getting tough out there. Yesterday we had the special of specials. I don't have any more AU $20 gold pieces. Those are gone. I have 15 rolls of the 1995 Silver Eagles left. That's it. That is, if you don't know, right, 95, one of those now really tough years to get. It used to only be 96. Now, really, if you go almost from like 1990 to 1997, maybe 98 a little bit, starting to really see some pricing pick up a little bit. But 94, 95, 96, those are the big ones now. 1995, and I did, yesterday we looked everywhere. $68 and change is what these people want, right? And I if you bought a roll of 20, you're talking about $1,375. I've got these 15 rolls, and they're $895. So, I mean, just outrageously good. I even went on eBay. A couple of guys, they got like 2 of them, 3 of them. Not rolls, just individual coins that they want $50 for. $895. These are absolutely, it's a steal. Here's the thing. The 95s had a problem with the lids. Not all of them, but somebody was smart, whoever had these, and transferred the ones with the bad lids into a different containers that had good lids. So there's obviously a little bit of toning. There's going to be. I mean, the coins are 30 years old. They're going to tone a little bit. But these things look really good. Really, really good. So $895. There's 15 rolls of those left. Gold's up, what? I don't know. $20, $25 from when we were going to do the sale yesterday. Remember, gold started to rally back yesterday, continues to rally again today. $20 gold pieces, Liberties or Saints. I don't have any more AUs, but regular $20 gold pieces. $33.95 for every one you buy. You're still going to get 10 1-gram silver bars. And just like yesterday, if you buy 10 of them, $33.75, and you get 100 grams of silver. I mean, Jason, we're down to like, I don't know, a little over a percent and a half over the spot price to get 20s, which is, it's incredible when you think about it. I mean, think about like the heights of COVID, the financial crisis. Our cost would be hundreds of dollars over the paper price. So essentially getting 20s for pretty much the paper price at 800-951-0592. Get the roll of 95s, get some 20s, get that wealth protected, get signed up for Texit. By the way, we had jobless claims today, 227,000, so back down. The problem is everyone's getting fired, apparently can't find work. Jobless continuing claims, getting ready to crest 2 million. That's not what we want to see. And then how about this? So you think about, well, what assets are going to be great? We always talk about things that are real. Why do I like gold and silver more than real estate as an example? Because real estate, it's real. We talk, well, you got to pay taxes. That sucks, right? Property tax, you got upkeep, the AC, the roof, the water heater, the pool, right? Whatever. And then if you're home, if you don't update it, if it's not perfect, it won't sell. Stunning. According to the realtors now, almost 50% of the homes that were for sale have been delisted, where sellers just pulled their property off the market because it didn't seem to matter what the price was. They could be the cheapest. We're the cheapest home in the neighborhood. Nobody wanted to bid on the homes, Jason. This is something the real estate market saying like this is unheard of, where so many homes every month simply get taken off the markets because they're not selling. And it's the funny part is, and there's still a huge growth of homes for sale with all the delistings.
You know, you've been bringing these ugly numbers on the air the last few months. This is a big one, I think, but I don't see that in the news too much. I don't, you know, not like we're, you know, the average guy. You know, of course, you go to the financial news. You know, that's where Joe finds all this stuff. Why do I get the feeling that once again I'm going to go back to the tariffs and the repositioning? It's like they're rebalancing things economically. Why do I get the feeling that all this ugly economic news will suddenly see the light of day, Joe, when the next false emergency hits and everybody panics, and then everybody, hey, look, nobody's buying houses. Well, yeah, we told you that way back in July of 2025. The news is there, Joe, but it looks like the reaction, whatever the cause, later.
Feels like everything's right on the edge, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We'll be back. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Again, the 1995 Silver Eagles. I'll tell you when I'm going to get more. Ready? I've got one client, that put an IRA together in like 1996. I want to say maybe 95 even, but it got 1995 Silver Eagles in it. And man, he bought boatloads of course, silver, I don't even know what it was back then. I don't know, $4, $5. I don't know. Every year, because he's too old now, he has to take distribution. Obviously, as the price of silver goes up, which is great, right? But at the same time, that makes it worth more, which means he's got to take a bigger distribution. The guy's going to have to sell a case of Silver Eagles, and he's got like 10 or 12 of them. So I'm going to have this one more. Unless he passes, I'll get these once a year. Once a year, you get one shot a year at these. This is it. $895. Every other major dealer in the country is approaching $70 a whack. These are $44.75. I only got 15 rolls. That's it. You don't get them this year, I guess you'll get another shot next year. And then on gold, I mean, $20 gold pieces, I mean, practically giving them away. $33.95 for every 20 you buy. We're going to give you 10 grams of silver. That's about a little over $12 worth of silver. Think about it. Silver is at $100. Those 10 grams of silver, right, going to be worth almost $33. If you buy 10 or more, I'm going to take $20 a coin off on the 20s, $33.75. Is that less than $55 over spot? And you get 100 grams of gold. Yeah, at $100. That'd be over $3,100. No. 300 and some bucks worth. Yeah, at 100. Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
3.1 ounces of silver. For
there you go, in 100 grams. 800-951-0592. You know, and I saw this data center boom, it is for real. APS in the city of Phoenix saying that so many data centers have popped up, it is draining the grid here in Arizona, saying that there's already 140 data centers operating in the state, some of them taking up entire city blocks. They operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with pulling maximum amounts of power. APS saying that it saw its highest demand ever and expects that to continue, and said that if they built the amount of data centers that the people want, they would almost have to triple their amount of power. And APS said, yeah, we just can't do that. It'll take a really long time. Why do I get the feeling power bills are going to get even more expensive? Yeah. There's no inflation, though. God bless.